Hello T885 and welcome to Team Blue's presentation for Pods of Neutral Splendor. We have titled our project Ecotourism, a sustainable method of quarry reclamation and ecological education. In our initial meeting after deciding on the ponds project, our first thought was on location. The team quickly settled on somewhere close to London. There's great transport links and lots of opportunity for tourism. There are a few national parks close to London. We settled on South Downs. We then looked for a map of South Downs National Park to have a closer look at possible locations. When we zoomed in, we noticed these three strange brown marks on the landscape. We wondered what they were. Upon closer inspection, we realized they were quarries and lakes. They were made from removing stone and minerals from the land and basically destroying the landscape in the process. This gave us a spark of inspiration. Instead of taking a plot of land away from an area of natural beauty, would it be possible to create an enterprise which would take these ruined landscapes and put them back to being a natural paradise? We took this idea to our tutor. After discussing it to make sure we're fulfilling the requirements of the project, she supported our initiative. The quarry became a core area of our project. It seemed to fit in with the design requirements of the project very well. Many of the requirements of the project became features of the enterprise, such as moving every 5 years. This constraint in particular seemed difficult to solve initially. Moving an eco-resort after 5 years seemed very unenvironmental. However, for our enterprise, we'd immediately move to the next quarry. This satellite image was placed into a CAD package called Autodesk Rivet Architecture. After many days of iterations and revisions, we came up with this site plan. We would now like to show you a short flyby video. One of our many design choices was to avoid the felling of any trees currently on the site, and also try and use as much that was already on the site as possible. There's already an office block there which we would try to use as our site's reception, and a car park next to it. The quarry site itself encompasses around 32 hectares. We sectioned off an 8-hectare area to the west as required by the project. We chose this to include the office block and parking. We wanted to use as much as possible already on the site, as well as having a nice view of the lake for the visitors. The main roads from the car park down to the pods are already present on the site. These would be made from gravel, ideally sourced from the quarry itself. We wanted to keep the pods away from the car park to create a more tranquil atmosphere, with visitors having limited times to use their cars, mainly when arriving or leaving their pod. We'd also have some permanent parking next to some of the pods. This is to improve the access for our disabled and elderly visitors. We wanted to ensure inclusivity for all our guests. As we fly through the site, you can see small bushes beside each pod. These are to section off a small garden space for each apartment so guests can relax in. They will also include benches and a barbecue. You will notice each pod also has a solar array on the roof. These are discussed later in the presentation. In the southern section of the site which we are now moving, the majority of the one-bedroom pods are situated. These are fairly small, cosy units designed for 2 adults, and we think will be much quieter than the family areas of the site. The family areas themselves will be a mixture of 2, 3 and 4 bedroom pods with similar designs. As we move around this next corner, the lake comes into view. This lake is already present on the site, though will need to be filtered so it can be used for recreational activities. The current water looks very unclean from the aerial views. We plan to offer a range of activities for guests to partake in, from boating to windsurfing or even swimming in the summer. We also plan to use this body of water as an energy source for heat pumps. This will be discussed later in this presentation. The units coming up on the right are to be used as activity centres and will host lectures on renewables, sustainability concepts, demonstrations, and have parties as well as fairs and other events. Education will be an important aspect of the eco-resort. There will be a separate area of the site purpose-built for school visits. This will include 10 pods able to sleep 8 kids each, plus a pod for teachers to occupy. This area will also have a teaching unit with courses covering all of the technologies used on the site, as well as other sustainable energies and designs. All the units and pods are designed based on shipping containers which come in standard sizes. The site will use 3 main sizes which are 12 metre, 6 metre, as well as a few 3 metres ones as required. The interior of each pod will be furnished to a high standard. This will now be discussed by my colleague.